Cigarettosaurus. Welcome. Today we'll be delving into the world of Go-Go Loser Ranger, one of my favorite ongoing manga. One that I'm multiple books into, and I think is definitely worth talking about and sharing. Now, many of the viewing audience are probably aware of Power Rangers and possibly the Super Sentai counterpart / originator of the show. But this series takes that and puts a very classic twist on it. First, by moving it into almost hard sci-fi, but also taking the whole approach of the heroes are bad, let's follow a villain. Throughout the series, you definitely are rooting for the villain as we get to know the Rangers and how they've made the world, essentially. The story truly begins 13 years before our narrative, where the aliens came here with intent to take over. But as they were met by the Ranger Force, slowly they've gotten whittled down. They've lost all their leaders that they refer to as bosses, and now it's just the minions left. Here they're called fighters. They have shape-shifting abilities, so they were allowed to keep their lives, a few of them anyway, as long as they kept up the charade, so the Rangers could continue to be the heroes for the world. Their shape-shifting not only allowed them to keep living, but as the monsters have created new villains for the charade, slowly they've run out of ideas and have hit a wall, but only one of them wants to admit it. That would be our main character, Fighter D. Fighter D slowly gives up on the rest of the fighters and makes his way to the surface so he can actually win. Everyone else has resigned themselves to the slavery contract they've signed. Luckily, the shape-shifting ability allows him to copy anyone he's seen, including humans. This leads to a lot of spy thriller type tension sprinkled throughout the story. Never know when they might find him out. In order to enact his revenge upon the Dragon Keepers, who are the lead Power Rangers, the one he's been fighting against every week for years, who are responsible for this whole enslavement contract and for wiping out his entire race's leaders. He has to enter the Ranger Force, which is basically like the military, where each Dragon Keeper is a head of a certain division. The red is for frontline combat, the blue for planning, the green squad is for stealth and taking out bosses, the yellow are R&D / the science unit, and the pink battalion being mostly medical, like the healing squad of the group. The more time he spends on the surface, the more Fighter D comes into contact with people who aren't so starry-eyed and gaga for the Dragon Keepers and the Ranger Force that's been shoved down their throats. Some of them even being on the path or involved in said Ranger Force. This begins a recurring problem he has, where he finds himself sympathizing and relating to the humans he is dedicated to erase. That's as far as I can get without going into light to major spoilers, but I would highly recommend you investigate the story for yourself. The art. The mangaka responsible for this amazing series is not only a good writer, but an extremely good artist, having been very popular on his previous series, the Quintessential Quintuplets. He obviously draws good women, very pretty women, and offers a lot of variety in character design. You can often see him problem solving how to keep characters distinct when one of the fighters is transforming into someone, or various things, as well as just the base character designs, keeping everyone very hard to confuse, which I'm sure he got a lot of practice on when working with quintuplets. Now, a problem many people who are good at drawing girls run into is one this artist does not, which is, I'm good at drawing pretty, but I'm not good at drawing cool. This often shows up when they have to draw men and action, where that can be seriously lacking in various like cheesecake slash, let's say, light reading titles. The action scenes are extremely well done. His composition is extremely strong and pushes the story along very nicely and very effectively. I'm rarely confused when reading this book. Overall, I'd highly recommend this. Go check it out. We're up to volume 12 with 13 coming out soon, and I think you should really support this series. It's a very creative spin on an old concept, not only in the world having its initial twist, but throughout the series. The action is very creative in its battles and getting out of situations and such. I'd highly recommend it. It's about time I get back to working on my book now. Check out my last video if you want any info on that. But for everyone else, I'll see you next time.